Okay, so very warm welcome to our session today on determination. And as I was reflecting on this subject, I was thinking that it's a very good question to ask, what is it that I'm being determined about in this moment in my life? And maybe also, what would I like to be determined about in this moment in my life? And I find that determination is not something that I can do all the time, but it comes in very specific moments. Conscious determination. Maybe I'm determined about things in a very natural way, an easy way, and it just happens because that's what I've already made a choice for maybe some time back. But there are certain things that go full circle. So maybe I made a choice, I was able to be determined for a little while, and then the energy kind of wound down, and I find that I'm at a certain point where I need to reset something. And so that's very often the moment that I realize that this quality of determination is very, very useful to use, to apply. And so, of course, it's not even a question of do I have determination or not, but it's one of our abilities that we apply or we don't apply. It's a little bit like thinking or feeling or anything, concentrating. It's not something that we learn as such, but it is an ability that we all have and we all use anyway for many, many, many things all the time. And whether it's conscious or not. But as I said, there are some occasions, and maybe more and more times, where I might consciously need to apply the quality or the power of determination. And I'm finding that, and I think many people find that too, is that we're at a time where maybe the things that would flow easily, whether it's concentration or the ability to meditate, the ability to do things easily and naturally, in a sense, receives a lot more resistance. And so, whether it's things like distractions or diluting, different decisions that I might have made, whatever it is, or the atmosphere around, whatever it is, but often there's like a high resistance to maybe what I've decided to do. And so therefore, my ability or the intensity of my determination needs to be proportionately higher than the resistance. Otherwise, I'm going to, succumb to the resistance. And so that resistance may come in the form also of self-doubt or of other people's opinions. Sometimes I might decide to do something and maybe there are people around me who say, nah, that's not a good idea, and maybe it's not going to work anyway. And any suggestion you have, they say, nah, it's not going to work. And I had this recently of, I wanted to put up a curtain in a certain place, and so I was asking the person who was going to help me to put this up, and they were saying, nah, this doesn't look nice, and nah, you need a thinner one, and nah, this and nah, that. And then eventually when, when I found the curtain that I thought would really work, then this person somehow began to cooperate in a way that they improvised the curtain holder and was able to actually make it look very nice. And I was amazed at how yes, on one side there was a lot of resistance, which I very often succumb to that kind of thing. But I realized that, okay, well, maybe what was it that helped me to stay determined in this? I mean, it's a little thing, but often little things give indications of things that are going on, deeper things. And I realized that, okay, well, maybe it was because I was very clear in what I wanted, and I took the steps to get the rings and the things that would hold up the curtain, and I did my bit, and I put forward with clarity what I was wanting. And in a sense, I didn't push the other person. I didn't, because in any case, they're not the kind of person who, would sort of say yes, anything you like, but it became me clarifying what it was that I was seeing, and then eventually that person was able to have the humility and the cooperation to collaborate with that idea, and eventually became extremely cooperative to the extent that they even improvised in a way that I could never have done on, I'm not very good with the sort of practical putting up nails and using what do you call it, drills and all of that, and I would like to learn. But and so it was very interesting to notice these kind of things, and it's these little things that are useful to notice, the dynamics of what was I doing, what was going on for me. And so I realized that that sometimes, as I was saying, I can be determined in a very natural way, but other times I need to consciously call on the power of determination and apply that. And that might happen, especially if I find that I want to do something different or something new. I want to move away from a certain habit, which could be a pattern of thinking, a way of doing things, or falling into a certain state, a certain condition. Or it might be something just even more practical, that I want to do exercise, and or I want to eat in a certain way, or whatever it is. I want to spend more time in quality reading and quality meditation. And so the thing is that the determination, what I find, that I'm not able to be determined just by saying, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. But I need to know, what's the energy? Why am I doing this? What is this going to bring me? What difference is it going to make to me, to how I feel, how I am, to my level of contentment, my level of happiness, to my ability to be how I want to be in my life. So in a sense, my determination, why I would bother to be determined, has to have something really important in there for me. Otherwise, I won't do it, or I won't do it with my heart. That I might be able to do it for a little while, and even then, because the resistances can be very strong. And so I need to continually remind myself, what is it? What is the energy? Why am I doing this? What is the difference that it's going to make for me in my life? And so therefore, I find that the foundation of applying and calling on determination tends to be my choice. So the choice is in what is the difference I would like to bring in my life? No. And so in this particular case, I may say yes, so I need determination because I realize that I tend to fall into an old habit. And I'm not interested in that old habit anymore. I know very well that that just drains my energy or it pulls me away from my state of contentment. You know? And so therefore, rather than what I don't want, would I focus on what I do want? And so determination is the means to reach that. So it's simply a means that I'm applying, a method that I'm applying in my life. You know? And so I find that choice is very, very important because otherwise I can very easily fall into the kind of determination that is, it's like a forcefulness, it's like a violence, you know. And so I don't want to be determined in a way where I am gritting my teeth and forcing myself to do something because I want to prove something to myself or to other people. You know? And because that kind of determination, I feel is quite violent, really, and is not very sustainable, not very pleasant. You know? Whereas if I'm choosing something and then I say, okay, in this I need self-discipline and I want to apply it, and it's worth the effort that it's going to take, what it costs, because it will take effort. You know, there's no denying that it will take me stretching my limits, me pushing myself. But because I remember why I'm doing it, I remember the difference that it's going to make, then it becomes just that little bit more, in a sense, kinder, but even moving towards the balance between love and discipline. You know? And so it becomes something that's much more balanced and rounded off. You know? And so that's where willpower, you know, that's where self-discipline and determination can be born in whatever it is that I'm doing. And so I find that that kind of a determination is what I would like to continue to develop. And because there's a saying, at least in Hindi, and maybe there's this saying in other places as well, that determination brings success. And again, it's not the kind of determination where I'm elbowing everyone out of my way and even myself out of my way. You know, sometimes we can, you know, push aside our conscience and be successful because we've been so determined. But that's a completely different kind of thing. You know? I think it's quite clear. And so the success is something that we each need to define for ourselves. And I think, you know, we've had one or two sessions on what is success, and so that's something that we can explore for ourselves. But it is, for me, the success is when I've been able to connect with myself, when I've been able to stay close to my and coherent or consistent with my own principles, with what's important for me, with what I set out to do. So, of course, within determination, one of the important things is our aim. You know, that again, coming back to that first question, what am I being determined about? And so it is very important to have the clarity of the aim. You know? And I think I've shared this as well, but I think this story is the story of Arjuna, and who was this very, very accomplished archer, and who was learning to be an archer, and his teacher was teaching, was showing all of this group of children how to take your aim, and the first question, that before the teacher would allow the student to release the arrow, the teacher would ask the student what they saw. And so the aim was the bird on the tree. No, it was a plastic, well, maybe not plastic, or should we say a wooden bird. And the aim was to shoot, to hit the eye, the pupil of the eye of the bird. So that was like the bullseye, And so one by one, the students would come by, and their replies would range from "I see the tree" and the bird sitting on the tree. And then when it came to the turn of Arjuna, and he was asked, "What do you see?" And he said, "I see the pupil in the eye." And that was it. And so it was like he was not sidetracked by the background, the context, what was going on with the rest of the tree. That all he was focusing on was the aim. And the clarity of that meant that he was allowed to shoot the arrow, and of course, he hit the target, and the success in that sense. And so there's various things in this story, and one of them is the stability of the mind. So stability of the mind means that I'm concentrating. So the words in Hindi are the same for stability and concentration. And so the stability of mind means one focus, one aim, where I'm not being distracted by the coming and going, the vibrations, the happening around me. And so there's that, what you might call the one determined thought. And so there might be other thoughts that try to take down that one thought, but because the thought is determined, because the thought is strong, that it cannot be shaken. And so that's one thing. And then the other thing is the clarity, is the clarity of the aim. And so I find that is very, very helpful when I reach a point where I feel some weakness, and I feel that, gosh, I need to do something about this because this is not working for me. I want to change something within. I want to change my position inside. I want to do something about it. I don't want to get into that same pattern again. So when I'm in the middle of a certain pattern, then I can't do anything about it. I need to have come out of it. I need to be able to see it with hindsight, or be able to be a little bit detached from it, enough to want to do something about it. And when I want to do something, that's when I can bring in the determination. And for that, I need the stability, and I need the clarity of what is my aim. And so it's something to experiment with. And again, as I said, what I find helps me to bring forth the power of determination, to have the willpower to actually do it, is to become aware, to re-emerge the energy. So what difference is that going to make to me? how is that going to change how I feel about myself? How is that going to change my ability to contribute in my life, to the world, to whatever it is I'm doing? How is that going to change the quality of my being? And so I need to become aware of the energies with which the energy that I'm going to be putting myself in and I'm going to be generating. And of course, I think that the resistance comes or can come in this whole process in the form of doubts, where I might self-doubt usually is the worst of the lot. So sometimes if other people doubt you, you might have the personalities, the more that they think you can't, the more determined you'll be, and so just to prove them wrong and to, and I mean, in a sense that can help in a strange kind of way, but it needs to not be the only motivation. I think if that's the only motivation, that can very easily fizzle out. But it's the self-doubt that is really the parasite that eats away at our courage and our determination. And that's where we need to sit with ourselves. And usually, if we're in a state of weakness, then one of the characteristics of weaknesses is self-doubt. And so we need to just be able to recognize that. So without a judgment, oh, I'm bad, I'm weak, I'm no good, not to get into all of that, but to realize, okay, this is very simply a condition of weakness. It's not my innate condition. I've come into this for whatever reason, but now I don't want to stay in this. Or do I want to stay in this? No, I don't want to stay in this. So therefore, I see this as the condition, but I see myself as separate from that, as the one who can change that condition. And so to notice the thoughts of doubt that come in, and to notice them when they begin, so the thing is that when a thought of doubt or a thought of some sort of oh, it's okay, it doesn't matter, it's not going to work, or whatever it might be for you, when you notice that beginning to rise, that's the moment to immediately identify it and put a name on that okay, this is a thought of doubt. And just by observing it, putting a name on it, it's like we diffuse the power that it has over us. And that's the time that we can immediately come back to a thought that is determined, that is powerful, and give energy to what difference is this going to make for me. So to focus on that, to focus on how is that going to change me, whatever is my aim, whatever it is that I want to be determined about. And then, of course, the influences or sometimes even the lack of immediate results can be something that removes our courage, or reduces our courage. And so we need to learn how to encourage ourselves. That's part of the determination, isn't it? Where we encourage ourselves, just as we might encourage a friend or someone who's very close to us, someone who we love a lot, who we really wish for them to come through that moment. So it's like giving that self-compassion, and that is so useful, because just even, which it might mean that you just spend 10 minutes with yourself, sitting with yourself, feeling what you might be feeling, acknowledging things that are going on, and bringing an input, re-emerging thoughts of encouragement, this self-talk that we all know how to do, actually. And because we probably do that with many of the people who we're close to, and maybe there have been occasions where we've helped people, you know, and so this is an occasion to help the self. I think it's very important in those moments, in order to come to the determination, is to observe the thoughts that are irrelevant, the thoughts that are going to be draining my energy, the thoughts that are, whether you call them waste or thoughts that are not useful, not productive, that are not helpful for me, and to notice them again. So they may not be thoughts of doubt, because those tend to be negative thoughts, but it might just be simply extra thoughts, that hypothetical things about, you know, ifs and buts and what ifs and maybes, and just to notice those as well, and to be careful of them, because those are the ones that tend to eat up my energy and keep me in a state of weakness. And it's very, very strengthening, actually, to notice, because it's like we get strength even just by noticing them, and by diminishing their power over us. You know? So every little drop makes a big difference to how much we can be determined about something. So these were just a few thoughts that I wanted to share, and I don't know if you would like to, share your experience on what helps you to be determined, and when you feel the need to call on the ability to be determined, the power of determination, and any experience that you've had, any story, anything would be lovely to hear. And just to remind you that this is being recorded, so just so that you're happy to share that, and it will be made available to everyone. So if you want to write anything as well, feel free to write in the chat. Otherwise, just unmute yourself and please do share. And then we can have a meditation.
Hello, I am Sandra.
Yes. Hello, Sandra.
Yes, sometimes I was really determined. That was a characteristic of myself. But during, I had a very hard situation several years ago, and I lost my objective, as you said, because when you have a goal, you go ahead. And there my determination came away. But now it started again, my determination, because slowly, really slowly. And I think when you have a goal in your life, you can be more determined. This is my side.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, Anna, please.
I tend to use the determination for, learning a new language. Like, I'm learning German, that for a long time I had a big blockage, and I decided it was important for me because I heard some German in the past in university. I studied a year and had a big rejection, but I was determined that it's something which I like for music, for listening to the Lieder, for Schubert and all that. And so I needed determination, because every day I have to do 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And I'm very happy when I do it. And it's something which I have, because I was determined to do other things in my life, to do certain studies and such. But that is something that regards myself. So that is my determination is always very positive. But when I'm determined to have some results or to ask somebody else, like my helper in the house or whatever, sometimes she says, you are very determined, but sometimes she says, you are very stubborn. So I wonder when the determination can be negative in a way, how the other person perceives your determination to achieve a project together with the other person, when the other person doesn't receive it as well as you do yourself. So I just came to my mind when you were talking that the possibility of being called, you know, stubborn, but I don't mind because I feel quite sure of myself and quite, you know, I explain myself better. That is not stubbornness, is something I want to achieve together that particular day. So anyway, that's a little sharing. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes, actually, that's very interesting aspect that you brought up, Anna, because in fact, it's every quality, as we know, has a complement, you know, so a balanced quality. And so it's interesting to think about it, that what is the complement quality for determination? What is it that will bring it into balance in case it goes too much to one extreme? No, and what does it become if it goes too much to one side? No, is interesting, and as you say, maybe it does become stubbornness or rigidity, no, which could be, and again, of course, each person perceives it in a different way, and that's fine too. And it's just a checking point for ourselves, really. So, I mean, one, maybe, you know, you can think about it as well, that what is the complement quality for determination? And I find that one of them, and there could be more, is of course flexibility, is where I'm able to be strong and clear and stable, and yet, like the bamboo, I'm able to bend, you know, when needed without breaking. And of course, bending means that there's humility as well within that, you know? And knowing that my roots are deep enough that I don't need to feel like, oh, I'm going in another direction, because no, I'm not going anywhere. I am where I am, and that's it. You know? And so I stand my ground, and yet I can be flexible. And of course, I mean, all of these things are very nice to hear, but it's a question of seeing, well, how does that actually apply in my life? You know? And the thing is also that we need not to be discouraged by other people's opinions. You know? So okay, if someone says something to me, I can say, thank you very much, I'm going to go and check, you know, is that the case or is it not the case? And if it is even the case, or even 3%, then okay, that's useful. You know, I can check that and maybe change it. But we need to be very clear with ourselves, with our conscience, as to what is the balance that's going to bring that happiness, that contentment, that, in a sense, success. And of course, in the end, we would all probably like that not only am I content, but the people around me are content. You know? And so that is also an aim, I guess, and that's why the balance is very useful. So thank you for sharing that. That's really good. Yeah. Anyone else like to say anything?
Hello.
Hello, Bruce. Hello.
Hi. I just enjoyed very much the conversation that happened between you and Anna. And it reminded me of two things that I wanted to add on it. What I liked the most was the sharing that the opinion of other doesn't define us. We can thank them for their contribution, and we can check for ourselves whether it is right or wrong, or accurate or not accurate, and adjust ourselves. So very much for me a sign of self-respect to not let the opinion or the observation of the other define myself. Another thing is two other complements of determination could be patience and acceptance. Flexibility is a huge one. But found patience and acceptance could also be around the corner, depending of the context and depending on the personality, but usually also on the context. So I wanted to add that. And also to see that it is not good or bad at all. The whole thing is not good or bad. When someone is out of range with determination, it's just someone is having too much of something. It doesn't define the person either. So to see it also in that, there is no duality. There is someone had just too much of it. So you can go a bit to the other way, to flexibility or acceptance or patience, to adjust yourself. That's all. It's not a huge big deal, or I'm wrong, I'm bad, I'm not enough, whatever. So make it also small. But, I share that also with you. Hope it is helpful.
Thank you. That's very useful, all those. Yes. The acceptance and the patience as another complement of determination. Great. Good. Okay. So maybe we can have a meditation now, and there will probably be a little moment at the end as well in case someone wants to share anything more. So I just wanted to read again the little piece on determination that I had sent round, and it's from this book, Making Virtue Reality. So single-minded but flexible, like a river forging its eternal route, I am dedicated to completions and natural conclusions. There is nothing that cannot be achieved. There is nothing that remains permanent. I keep on moving with love and purpose towards my destination. My resolve is firm and my aims are clear. And one of the little, in a sense, tips that they say is, today I will set my direction in the morning and keep on remembering it. So that's also a very nice exercise. So set my direction in the sense is, what is the flow of energy that I would like to be in today? So like the river. Okay, so let's have a meditation now, and ask you to find a comfortable position. Take a deep breath. And let your muscles relax. Make sure that there's no tension anywhere. And I feel the breath coming in and out. As the oxygen refreshes my body, I am pleased to be giving myself this time and attention. Just by giving myself the time, I am strengthening myself. And as I feel the world out there becoming distant, the dimension of time and space, roles and responsibilities, issues and problems, past and future, all of that fades gently away. And in the forefront of my consciousness, there is the energy of my being right now. I tune in to how I'm feeling in this moment. I tune in to the energy that I'm generating right now. And I give it a name. Maybe there's a few different words that I can use. Maybe even seemingly opposite to each other. I might be feeling contented at one level and also a little bit anxious at another. I identify the main flow of energy within. They are like these rivers that are flowing through my mind. The flow of contentment, the flow of peace. The flow of some kind of worry. And as an observer, I watch all of that. And as I watch and observe, I become aware that behind all of this is a state of my consciousness that is my original and natural state of being, that is innate, and that is my condition of peace. My being of love. the immense beauty of the soul, the child of the Supreme. That needs nothing to complete it. As a work of art, I recognize the uniqueness of the self. And I sense the gratitude for the Supreme, for having showed me the mirror. When I am stable in the awareness of who I am, I can call forth this stability into specific situations. I use my thoughts in those moments to bring me inside to this place here, where I am who I am. I am peace. I am a being of love. I am a child of the Supreme. I am light. I am worthy. I'm okay. And I resonate in this energy. Radiating, generating, and distributing this to every moment in my life, to the whole world, to the elements. You too are a being of peace. You too are a child of God. No matter what else is going on, you are a child of the Supreme. You are unique. You are beautiful. I can re-emerge this energy in specific moments through the day. In moments that are difficult or intense. I just need to remember who I am. And I take a moment to be present here. And I feel the breathing coming in and out. And gently, from this space inside, I connect again with how I'm feeling in my mind, how my body is, and how the atmosphere in my physical surroundings has become. Thank you.